and welcome back to another episode of Screen Tested. I am your host, Tyrant. Now, today's episode is something that I've had in the works for quite a while because I've wanted to talk about this for months, and that is specifically canes through the lens of perhaps self-defense, maybe offense, defense, because there is a lot of information here that I think is actually fascinating to explore because canes come in a whole bunch of different shapes, sizes, weights, materials, you name it. Not only that, there's art forms to it. There's entire, fighting type treatises about them. And there's also something really biological, especially when it comes to men, about sticks, because that's essentially what a walking cane is, right? It's a stick. And not to flex on you guys, not to flex, but this particular stick here is my stick. I picked this up literally over a decade ago. I've had this stick just sitting around for over a decade because I picked it up when I was out in the wilderness one day, and I thought you guys would appreciate it. We are simple creatures, aren't we? There is a couple here that I want to talk about very quickly before we get into the meat of today's episode. This one here is a cobra head. The reason why I picked this one up is because as a kid I really liked Jafar's magical staff from the Aladdin movie, and this reminded me of. Next up we have Hammond's cane from the Jurassic Park movie. I made this one by hand a couple of years ago. I did a full video on it actually on my second channel, but it's a cane that I really like, so I made this one as well. And the reason why I got this one is because it looks like Palpatine's cane from the original trilogy, the Star Wars trilogy, and I thought it looked really cool, all bumpy and stuff. And then lastly we have the Assassin's Creed inspired cane. We did a full episode on this one a couple months ago. Now what we're going to be specifically making in today's episode is Biff Tannen's walking cane from the Back to the Future franchise, right? It's that big steel fist on the end of a walking cane. I think it's going to be pretty good, but that's essentially what we're going to be covering in today's episode. What are the positives, what are the negatives, making our own cane, putting it to the test, and seeing how effective it is. And is it as effective as this segue to today's sponsor? Temu, one of the world's largest e-commerce sites. They reached out to me and they said, hey, we want to sponsor an episode, pick a whole bunch of stuff, we'll send it, test it, destroy it, do whatever you want with it. And this is what I chose. So let's start off with this over here. This is a waxed canvas and leather backpack. I think it's actually pretty good quality. It was like 30-40 bucks, super cheap, and I'm so impressed with it. I'm probably going to use this for my cameras when we go out filming. This one here is probably the one that I'm most impressed with, this Palpatine looking one. I really like it. It is like solid as. So this one here, I'm a big fan of. This wasn't actually sent to me for today's episode. I purchased this on my own dime. After we did the original episode on Assassin's Creed, I went and just got this online. I got it from Temu, right? It's like 30 bucks, and it's an actual cane. Like, this is actually a cane for walking. This is a solid steel fist hammer. Like, this is a hammer for actually hitting things. It's got a flat surface here. It's a hammer. This is what we're going to be modifying. But I thought it was so cool. I thought this is cool, man. And so cool, I got a second one. This one here, though, has a thumbs up. And who doesn't like a thumbs up? I mean, this guy likes a thumbs up. And then last but not least, we have a codex, a Da Vinci codex. This is made out of like solid brass. It's got quite a lot of heft to it. It's like a little safe. You can open it up, you can stash things in there, you can set your own passcode. I thought this was really cool as well. Temu also has a delivery guarantee and a partial refund if the price drops within 30 days. I've never heard of that before, but I think that's pretty cool. So download the Temu app through the link in the description or the QR code that's currently on the screen. You can also use my code DYN4426 in the app search bar to get a $100 coupon bundle. It'll also probably give you some discounts on some of the products that you see in today's video. Now this coupon bundle will expire in 24 hours, so if you see something you like, you should pick it up. So this is obviously the fist hammerhead that we're going to be using for our Back to the Future cane. Now I have no idea how they've attached it. There doesn't seem to be any obvious methods. So it's on there pretty securely. I think I'm going to leave it. What I'm going to do is actually take a portion of it, shave it down, and essentially turn it into a tang. Now the reason why is because this particular cane here, this is the snakehead cane, it actually unscrews. Now the main body of this I think is made of steel. It's actually got quite a bit of heft to it, and there is a portion where I can put the wood tang in between. I can then drill some holes in the body and permanently put them together, and then we can put it to the test and see how see how brutal this thing is. So these are the three canes that we're going to be talking about in today's episode. Let's start off with the wood one, because honestly, this is the one that surprised me the most. I actually like it. I honestly think I like it more than these two. However, I don't think this is the one that I would pick for any sort of combat application. Not because it can't hold its own, but because this specific one, I can see that there's a join around the head. So they're two separate pieces. So if I was to hit someone with the pick end of this particular cane, I think it would break. Now, if I could make this cane out of a solid piece of hardwood, then it would definitely be my 10 out of 10 pick. I really like this cane. So maybe when I'm like 70 years old, that's the cane that I'll be using. All right, let's talk about these two, because this is the Assassin's Creed version, right? Now, we did a full episode on this particular cane, and let's go over some of it very quickly, but we won't go in super depth because we've already done that. The biggest positive to it is that we have both figuratively and literally a beak here. Now, what is a beak good for? It's good for getting through armor. It's good as a pick. On that beak, it does that. It's a beak. Sorry guys, did I get you there? Yeah, it looks like we got some. Hey, let me wipe yours off. That's what she said. Because you can concentrate a lot of force at a right angle, which means it is absolutely devastating right here. But not only that, if we are to use it for thrusting, right? You know, you want to use your measure, you want to keep people at range, you can use this as a stopper, a handle, so that when you thrust with it, your hand isn't going to slip, and you also have a way to retrieve it. And then there's also additional functions for a right-angled cane in terms of, you know, offense or self-defense, and that is hooking around maybe, you know, extremities, hooking around the neck, legs, that sort of stuff. So all round, I think these are a fantastic choice, not only for offense, but for defense. Some of those pros, some of those cons, reaching on, being able to hook onto things is a really, really good thing. Having that pick to be able to drive it into your target, really, really good. In terms of a handle, it essentially becomes, you know, that sword-like object that we mentioned earlier, while also having a nice stopper. So if we thrust with it, we can use our hand to stop nice and firmly, which is something that I personally really, really like. It's also quite comfortable to use. Now, let's talk about the other one. This one packs a huge punch when it comes to actually using it like a, you know, a giant hammer, if we will. In terms of comfort, like, it's good. I like it. In terms of actually using it, it's great. Then if we use it for, let's say, like a sword-like object like the other, it's actually a little bit more nimble because we have such a large counterbalance here. So it's actually a little bit more maneuverable, right? We're able to thrust, which is good. That's exactly what we want. We have somewhat of a stopper. I would say it's not as effective as the other one. Retrieving it, for example, if somebody grabs onto it, we still have some good leverage here because of how it, you know, contours to the hand. Now, it's hard to get over to camera the weight, but the amount of weight I can feel on the end of this is insane. This is a nice solid cane haft, but honestly, I think this is a bit too heavy. It's actually a little bit too heavy, right? It's a little hammerhead, so I think I might hit things a little bit kind of here. We have our fencing mask here. So we were able to cave in Tony's mask. It can put a lot of force in, a lot of force. So for context, it means that this cane here is putting out more force than the thunder hammer we made. Bye, Tony. So I think that's pretty insane. Let's see if we can cave this one in as well. And last but not least, let's smash our cane into this shield. Now, this is not a full combat, you know, the strongest shield in the world, but it is still a reasonable shield that we've obviously tested before, the Captain America shield. Let's, I got a feeling this is gonna cave it in. And this is just really fun. This thing is a beast though. So you may have noticed that I haven't mentioned how I would personally use a walking stick for like self-defense, right? And the reason why is it's purely contextual. For example, if I was facing someone with like a baseball bat, right, I'd probably use the media section because I have a higher chance of being able to block with it and not break the walking cane, whereas on this end, it might break. I also have a nice hook here where it might allow me to lock away the weapon momentarily for a thrust. So against a baseball bat, that's probably how I'd use it. Whereas if I was facing someone with something that, let's say, is lighter and nimble, I would probably use it the opposite way. Reason being, I have this weight for a counterbalance, which means that my tip control is going to be a lot quicker and a lot more nimble. So it really depends on what you're actually facing. So I think that's going to be all for today's episode. Nothing too crazy or special. I really like canes, not only as like a self-defense type thing, but as an actual useful item. I still think my favorite, in terms of like real world use, right, is probably going to be the Assassin's Creed one, just because it's made out of metal, it's got a lot of positives to it that I would go with. But if I could find one of these wood ones, like this, in like a super hard wood, I think that would probably be what I would go with. Now this one, that doesn't mean you can't discount this one. It's purely just down to personal preference and what you value. This one has a lot more heft and weight to it. However, this one requires a bit more technique, and there's a lot more stuff that I think personally would be more valuable to me. Specifically being able to hook onto limbs, being able to use it as a pick, while also having a good way to essentially hold it without fear of losing it. So that is my roundup of these Temu canes. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I'll see you next week in another episode. Have a good one.